I agree.
I'm scrolling up. Jeff? Oh, is it Moni Moni? Is that what you picked? Is it the song?
Yeah.
Oh, Billy Idol. Trying to look through. I haven't read the comments. I'm being a bundle. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on. Yeah, he said he can't talk to you either.
Still up.
Shan, he said he can't talk to you either because of the same shit. He's just like, yo, I can't talk to them. Then I'm going to give him my whole house and my furniture.
Yo.
We'll take it, man. You want to be room? Show him the ropes.
What's wrong, Lucas? No, he's not. But we're used to that. Oh, Maggie. Come up here, my nuggie. You're beautiful. Hey, Maggie, were you playing, oh, never mind. You're playing Fortnite. I was going to say if you tried the Overwatch 2 yet.
Come on. Moni, Moni.
The TV's on. It's really loud.
Sorry, I think it was me.
What are you watching? That's all right, Mary. That's all right, Mary Burning.
Mary Burning.
Monica.
No.
Spot on, girl. Spot on.
Monica. Crazy Frog's not here.
Like I'm muted. I'm on there. They said they're on the panel right now. I'm on there.
James.
Pretty cool people.
It's not here, man.
Were you gonna watch it on
Crazy Frog has pretty good taste in music.
They don't know I'm doing this.
Anyways,
Captain Caveman, check it out.
I
Camp
say for
is
the
really
first time I say tonight, I'll make us some pizza or burgers. Trip.
No. Fuck no. You're not
Be
cooking. I do not want.
Oh, you're such a hater, man. Such a hater. What a hater, man.
Just what I do here.
I can't hardly see the chat because I'm using my old phone that I broke the screen. I can
I'll go
hardly
down the fucking slide.
You do that.
Here, let me, hang on. I can't see, it's hard to see. If I can put the link there, I don't know.
You're happy with Little Caesars.
Can't even
You
see
don't
nothing
take
on the
much
phone.
to please you.
Hmm.
Crazy Frog said on
That's
the
this way.
here.
There we go.
That's why I highlighted it. 'Cause it's funny. I'll bet just the type to like CT's Pizza or some shit too. That's just something.
Broken phone on the
What's funny
screen.
is, you know that shit. Can y'all imagine, just for fantasy, me and Shan can't be roommates? God, I would drive her insane
Come
with
on,
the
talk,
fucking
look.
drums.
That's a hell of
Hard
a
to see who's here.
With
Hey, Bud Pals, Captain
drugs?
Caveman.
Drums.
Say drugs.
Drums.
Let me try to find this
That
video.
was the drums.
There we go.
I'd be aggravated with the drugs, man.
No, I said drums. Shut up.
Whatever.
It's cool.
Whatever.
You just
Shane
walk in.
can't think she's fucking funny.
It was funny as shit.
Yeah, it's one of my features that I love about myself is that because
Hey, what's
that's
up,
all
Big
thanks to
Bouncer?
my mom though and her stand-up comedy.
These people are pretty funny.
Shane just got me in trouble.
Well, not only that, you got a great personality. You actually you're empathetic.
Quit lying to the man.
Genuine. Like,
Hey,
I get
Donnie the
genuine
Traveler, what are you doing, brother?
Yeah.
I'm on this panel, and every time back trying to stream on twice, and I'm
That's what
going. I'm
attracted
going.
me to you.
That's just being nice.
Yeah.
I love you and I don't buy it. I'm like, yeah, right, okay. But with Shan, I feel like she really keeps her shit.
Yeah, I do. I do, and I hate it sometimes.
Such a nice guy, Joe.
No, I was just no. I was trying to tell you. I say drugs. I said drums. Or MS. Drums.
Skittles. We've been talking to Shan this whole time, telling her about her. Like we never mind.
I thought you were talking.
I know it is.
I am like so confused, man.
Monica, that's misinformation.
I ain't say nothing.
Wait, I thought the central disease room was 2 doors down, 2 doors down, which is
3 doors down.
oh, 3 doors down. Okay. You know, with a pig, and a heroin addict.
Like,
Am I back? I'm back. Yeah.
I guess I'll be
I'm
back.
trying to
off.
tell. Hey, 10-4 Hatter, what you doing?
Okay.
I'm on another stream too. That's what's up.
Get in here.
You see?
Get the camera going.
Mm.
Nah, I don't need a roommate. I'm roommate to myself. That's a pleasure.
They don't even know I'm on there.
You need a babysitter, though. You for damn
I don't need no baby. Shan came in ain't gonna be my babysitter. I'm her babysitter.
sitter. Okay, fine. Can we call it a Jeffy sitter then? But it's the same thing. We need a Jeffy sitter.
Hi, beautiful.
Angie.
I would.
So I'm doing I'm muted on my computer, but I'm on here on my phone.
Hell yeah.
Why not, huh?
Wait.
Hey, come up.
Yeah.
Tess, come up here. I'm on this
Whatever,
panel
man.
too, and they don't know it.
I didn't
Shan
say that
Camp.
wrong. Man, y'all.
I've been on there for a couple hours. I walked like an hour and a half on here.
Lucas never, see, right there, Shan. Lucas never
I'm muted,
forgot
see?
about that Power Ranger shirt neither. I told you. I'm never going to live down me wearing a pink Power Ranger shirt once. One time.
Let me make it big.
So what? You so what?
Yeah,
The Pink Ranger.
You know, I always got stuck, like, not even to be racial about this. I always got stuck being the Yellow
I
Ranger.
dropped the link in there.
though,
Come on
'cause,
up, Seth. Fuck around. Get high.
I look like,
I'll
you know,
tell
I
him.
looked the part. So I got stuck being Trini all the time.
Tranny?
Good.
Trini, yeah. Trini. It's Trini. That's her, the Pink Ranger, or the Yellow Ranger's name, the original. Trini. Trini. I not know the names. Yeah.
Power Ranger.
I'm totally a dork for knowing the names.
Underdog.
Hold on, I think I got that shirt around here somewhere.
None of you
I'm
ever.
wear it. I'm gonna fucking own it. If you gotta, if there's no last something, long time waiting.
Where are you going? Jeff?
Huh? I had to throw some. No, I just got my ass chewed out.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Shan Kim was just, harping on me. And Mom's like, why could you yelling at? I said, oh, Now I see why Shane loves my mother.
Hey, what's up, we the people? Just got knocked off. And I'm streaming. I got my hotspot on one phone. I'm on this panel, and I'm streaming with this one. My old phone and the screen's cracked.
What a player!
Can't find my other stand.
Time is it? It's 8 o'clock, y'all.
Okay, what's your point?
7:05.
God, it's 8:05.
Somebody stop
Yeah,
me.
8:05 here.
The link's in the stink. No, I can't see somebody's back there.
Almost time for
Let
bedtime.
me see if somebody's back here.
We
Nope.
don't need watches.
Man, I'm in
What are
bed
you doing?
9:30.
Oh, you're a puss.
9:30.
Because you're a puss.
9:30, 10 o'clock. I'm usually in bed. I'm
You're a loser.
8:06. The fuck?
My kids never even went to bed until 10 o'clock at night ever when I was married.
You want to hang with the cool kids. You better
Every
get
time
up.
Papa in.
You better learn how to hang with us.
I wasn't trying to do this or I'd have it ready. I just do it out
Yeah.
every moment, you mean?
Monica, I get up at 5 a.m. every morning.
Fuck that.
For what?
just telling you.
Why do you get at 5 a.m. every morning?
Because I go get the worm.
You get the worms. The worms. What's that, big worm? I mean, big worm.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Oh,
Hey.
sure.
Hey, I'm streaming your stream on my stream. I'm live too.
Oh, cool. Restream. Oh, yeah.
No,
Bye, everyone. Easy. Hey, Doggo has a question for you, Doug. It's Saturday romance night.
no, that's tomorrow night. Tomorrow night.
Hey, get that romance in there.
On God's day, on
Hey, what's
Jesus'
up, Super
day,
Dave?
that's your romance day.
Damn right.
Hey,
it
what's
is.
up, Kenneth?
What a fucking player, man. What a fucking
Whoop, whoop.
player.
Hey,
Give me a call, dog.
We're gonna love one another.
we the people.
Power.
Hey, come in down a Hey, Hub.
And then it starts
Hey, I
out
dropped the
that
link. Hang
way.
on, let me do it again. I'm using my broken phone. It's hard to see.
How does it end?
It starts
Hey.
off with each other.
Hey, Doug, I was going to make a comment about that, a joking comment by saying, you do realize Jesus is too perfect enough to watch you and your wife get your eyes freak on.
That
I
is
think some of
true.
these people are
This
way
is the
drunk.
shirt, Shan.
That is true.
That's
There's a
the
link.
shirt.
What a player.
The shirt.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Power Rangers.
Hey, Dot,
Hard to see this phone.
Dot,
That was
Is
the
that going
new
in?
shirt everybody made fun of.
Maybe not.
That shirt.
Dot, I
I
didn't
see.
quite get to see that
Same
shirt.
thing.
Can you show it again, please?
Come up, we'll smoke out. That's for damn sure.
Let's do it again.
I've been doing it
Rewind.
anyway.
Yeah, rewind. Oh my gosh.
These are outrageous.
quite
Y'all
see the
better
shirt.
tell me if I got a book hanging. Y'all better tell me.
Well,
I can't see.
your boobs are lopsided, so yeah, a good view.
Yeah.
My boys aren't lopsided. They don't have lopsided boobs.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch.
There we go.
Opinion.
They're the same
My
size.
boobs are not lopsided. They're not lopsided, the book.
I have to turn my
Damn.
phone
No,
sideways and flip it back so I can see where the camera switch is. What's up, Dave? Come on up. Anybody wants to come up? Come up.
Right, no,
I
they're
can put 10 or
perfect.
15.
He also heard you wrong too. He heard I guess you heard that when you were talking about if you have a booger in your nose, let you know, not whatever you said.
Sorry, God. I was just joking around with you, guys. I was just joking around with you, guys.
You cruising
I'm up
for
here.
bruising, Jeffrey?
But that's a nice shirt. That's a very nice shirt, Dot.
You saw, I mean, you see what everybody else gets to see if they're around me in person. It's no big deal. I'm wearing a regular t-shirt.
Tiffany wears t-shirts.
It's Shan Camp.
I
Is the
know,
name of the
see?
channel.
But she actually shows y'all skin, so like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she just wears sports bras now.
I don't know any person,
like
one person in the whole
Yeah,
stream.
Tiffany wears
No one.
bras, sports bras, yeah.
I know
Well,
Shan,
by
that's
the way,
it.
I meant to tell
I made her a shout out. She just saw it the other day. It's from a couple of months ago.
Shadow.
I don't even remember where I met her at.
Dark shadow walked through the
Smoked out.
See him as a conjuring movie.
Crafty, come on up.
Yeah, my best guess.
Darlene?
Is
I can barely
my
see
mind
the
was
chat
fucking
because of
with
this
me as
smash
I watched
screen.
that movie.
Pain is pain.
It could be. It could be
Yeah.
summer thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've walked for,
That might be it.
I've been on here a couple hours.
Yeah.
Killing me softly.
Yeah, just thinking last time I told you I saw a ghost. I saw a lady ghost with creepy with veins on her legs sticking out. Like,
Yeah, smoke some more crack.
This is a creepy lady.
Hey, Monica,
That's funny.
Yes.
I heard what you did for a Klondike bar. Call me.
Oh, God.
What did I do?
Have you ever had a blonde?
Did I lick it hardly?
Oh, God.
Did I suck all the cream out the middle of it?
I can't read this. I have to turn it. This
That
way,
was
right?
legend, Monica. I love that.
Right. Oh, I can see it.
What a player.
He's gonna put her in an awkward spot. She came back even more. What did I suck all the cream out of? That's awesome.
Douglas, do I need to demonstrate how to do it the right way?
I don't know who. I know Shan
I
can't.
could give you some techniques.
He's the only one I know. And
I don't
I
need to
can't see their names hardly, can you?
Oh yeah.
I'm a lot better.
One's called Johnny something on top left. It's a girl from Kentucky with her head shaved.
Ooh, damn.
I don't know any of these other people.
Booyah.
Critter?
Booyah.
Kidda?
Right up to booyah.
I tell you one movie I would love to watch with Shan,
I don't know any of
Kim, and Don, and anybody else, because I know what you did last summer.
Scary movie.
I don't know.
God, it's been so long.
Read the people in order to form a more perfect union.
If you want to watch
Never gonna forget you called me lopsided. Never gonna forget that.
Pops,
You got some rainbow dog up in the corner barking.
Oh, sure.
Hey, a while ago I was live and I went through the woods, went through the homeless camp, and was almost out of there. And I saw two guys. I started talking to them. I did one of them, and the fucking had a pit bull underneath the trailer. That motherfucker came after me and barely nipped me. Didn't bring blood. Barely got away.
That's how I know it's Jesse. Who's gonna say the wrong thing at the wrong moment? What a player.
Yes, please.
well,
It was so funny, John. Every time I get in trouble in this house, my mom be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" I'll be like, "I'm a little retarded today. You gotta give me a free pass." And she feels bad but pissed off at the same time.
There we go.
You use it as a weapon. You use it as a weapon.
Super Dave in the house. What's up, Dave?
How's it going?
I think I met this Shan camp girl like sometime because I made her a shout out, and then she didn't see it for till like recently, a couple of months. I made it for her, and then here I am streaming somebody.
I was gonna ask you what's
I've done it before. Haven't you? Have you ever done it?
done what?
Streamed somebody else's stream while you're streaming?
Not really.
Oh, I have. I've had one of my friends. I had him on 8 devices trying to get him hours, at one time.
Somebody streamed me one time, I remember, and I went. They told me they came in my chat. They said, "Look in there on my channel," and I went to their channel when I was live streaming, and there I was on their live stream.
Yeah, I did it before. I didn't. They didn't even know for a while. That one guy, Tony, that used to, put everybody down. He run my streams while I was streaming and sit there and make fun of us all.
I laugh at stuff like that.
Oh, I know, but he was. I didn't know he was evil because he acted like he was trying to help get pedophiles off the internet and shit. And at first, I didn't realize he was so evil, and I got sucked into it for a little while. But every time I was on his panels, I was laughing because I didn't think he was real. He was such a fake character. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got it. That's the way. That's the way them trolls are.
Oh yeah, Good Servant Steve, the Good Servant.
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what happened to him, but he's like in the last month he's went off the other end because he talks. He's on something. It's his medication. He's a veteran, and they got him on about 5 or 6 pills, and he's lethargic. And he ran out everybody off, and then like the other night he had one person in the stream, and I was watching him, And then some guy came in and started talking. He told me to send him $200 cash app if he admitted he's on heroin. And then he kept saying, I'm not on heroin. I'm on Suboxone. I can't do it. It'd make me sick. And he finally got him to say, I love heroin. And then he goes, I'm not sending you $200. He goes, there you go, people. It was Tony, the same guy that used to harass everybody with a different name.
Damn, that's sad.
It is, because I mean, it's like he didn't. I knew it was him because he still talked the same way. Because he always said, there you go, people," and he said clipped and screenshot. Why would someone say that? Who cares? I mean,
Right.
but he was evil, man. He made fun of Darlene. Like Darlene took it better than anybody because he said that Darlene had a dick, and she goes, "Mine's bigger than yours."
That's what I'm saying. I laugh at stuff like that.
Oh yeah, but it was bad for a while. I mean, Peanut, he took up for me, but it was bad enough, dude, that I was about ready to drive to Canada and shoot that motherfucker. I'm serious. That's how bad it was. Because he was calling me a pedophile. Call everybody a pedophile.
Man. Yeah,
but finally,
I remember
that guy.
You remember I was live streaming one morning. Are you talking about that same guy that came in and running his big mouth?
Yep. That's him. Yeah, but finally, poor dirt farmer. You know, poor dirt farmer, don't you?
Oh yeah.
Well, I was on his stream and Tony came in there, right? So I blocked him right off the bat. And then they let him back up and put him on the panel. So I got mad and I left and blocked poor dirt farmer. So then the next day I got up and poor dirt farmer, they set him up and I put my name, address, phone number, everything on there. And they looked up and said, he's never even been in jail. So they went after him for lying. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And they probably got him so much. His family, they started calling his family and texting him and showing his family on there. That his family told him to get off. And I think Crafty helped get him off too. I reported him every time he showed my stuff,
Right. Yeah, that's what you do. Can y'all see my avatar?
Yeah, he ain't got no hat on. They look good without a hat.
Yeah, I normally wear a hat, don't
I usually do like a baseball hat, but in high school I wore a derby like you do, except I had it poofed out round, back in the disco days, kind of.
Well, I didn't mean to interrupt your stream or anything.
No, that's okay. I was waiting for somebody to come up anyway. been on that panel I walked for an hour and a half all through the homeless area and everything. And I saw homeless people in the woods, and then two guys that I'd seen there before, they're pit bull. I just seen her in the trailer, and man, it tried to get me. It barely got my skin. I was about. I've never been bit by a dog before. Have you?
Yeah, when I was a kid.
Yeah, but dogs usually sense if you're a bad person. You know what I mean?
I was running away from the dog, and it bit my leg.
Oh yeah, but some people, the dogs bite them because they're evil, and the dog knows it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was picking on the dog when.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave this stream. When I was a kid, I lived like 10 miles from where I went to school, and I had to play baseball. Even in Kiwanis, I'd have to ride my bike, and I would go down country roads. I'd have to carry it back because dogs would chase you on your bicycle. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I've had a lot of that in my life.
Yeah, my son, when he was like 3 years old, got attacked by a pit bull and bit 10 times in the face and all over.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, the neighbors had a pit bull with puppies, and they had a little girl like a year younger than him, and it went after her, and he went to save her, and got bit all over. But he kind of, it was pretty dramatic. And you know what? It's kind of weird because I was married, and I had a pawn shop. I worked at a pawn shop, and this girl always came in, and they down the road here about 30, 40 miles, we have the Freistadt, the beer fest, German thing, Oktoberfest every year. You know what I mean? Big beer thing. And this girl invited me to go, and I was going to go with her, and I was married. And then 5 minutes before I was getting ready to leave, my son got attacked by that pit bull.
Oh man, that's sad.
So I was like, I never even thought about going anywhere with anybody ever again. You know what I mean? It wasn't that, I just felt like karma. You know what I mean? Like somebody. Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad. I
I know. I felt so guilty. I mean, I know I didn't do it, but just the timing of it, made it look like don't cheat. I wasn't going to cheat anyway. I'm just going to go to a beer fest,
Right.
But I never thought about it again after that. It was like somebody told me, don't do it,
Mm-hmm.
That's things like that.
Right. Yeah,
it's a wake-up call,
I could tell you some things guys tried to pull me into and stuff, and
Oh yeah, I was the first one to get married with all my friends because I was 21, and they would always get me to go out and do stuff, and get me in trouble with the old lady. And then when they got married, you never saw them again. They didn't have the balls to do what I did. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I've been. I mean, really, like you a man or a mouse? Well, when it came to my marriage, I'm a mouse because
Oh yeah, I was married 28 years. I made it 28 years. Never cheated. Never went to bars. Never did nothing wrong. And she never worked. And so I did everything you're supposed to do, and still got bent over and shoved home. So it doesn't matter. Things happen, no matter what you do. You know what I mean?
yeah, you're right.
But I wouldn't change that part. I would still never, even though I knew I was going to get divorced. I wouldn't have, because I had a pawn shop and I worked at a couple, and we rented porn movies. Which I did. I didn't mind, but the ones I worked at did. And girls would come in and try to get you to leave with them by renting that shit. It's like the devil tempted me most of the days when I had that shit.
Oh yeah,
That,
the
you can't have
devil
two women because one of them's going to tell the other one eventually. You know what I mean? You're going to lose them both. So
that devil puts a lot of stuff in your mind, man.
well, I tell people you can't believe your own thoughts because you don't know who's doing the thinking for you. That's why you got to pray for. You got to pray for understanding and discernment every day because if on your weakest points, that evil shit will get in you and build up your ego and stuff, and you're not doing the thinking, but you think you are.
That's exactly right. Yeah, you got that right.
Well, you see all these people that do mass murders, like some of them are going to college, all of a sudden they just click and kill people. It's not them. God don't make evil motherfuckers like that. There's a demon in their head. You know it?
Yeah, you're right. You get
And the
on some,
deception is the devil doesn't exist. It's his biggest deception that all this is crap, which is
you
not.
get
And
on
people,
you get on some kind of heavy drug or something and make you
yep.
do things that you shouldn't be doing.
I've never even seen heroin, and they say it's an epidemic in kids and stuff now. And I've never even seen it because we were young. When you thought of shooting up and all that, you thought of like Woodstock and people shooting up out of mud puddles with long hair. You know what I mean? Normal people you didn't think did stuff like that.
Mm. Yeah, well, they do.
Oh, I know. There's a lot. I mean, you don't know what people do behind when they go home. You have no clue. You know what I mean?
That's right. You don't.
I used to tell people they slam stuff like all people that smoke pot should be dead or something. And I said, you better be careful because your best friend, that might be their favorite thing when they're not around you. And now you have an enemy and don't even know it, you know?
That makes sense, man. Yeah.
Because a lot of times I've had somebody where I worked, like just doing stuff nefarious. And then someone come to me and say, I hate to tell you, but it was the person you thought was your best friend doing it. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah. Well, nothing shocks me anymore. I mean,
Oh, yeah. When you get our age, I'm desensitized. There's nothing anyone can do that hasn't been done to me before or I haven't heard it. You know what I mean?
That's right.
That's why I'm sick of food. I eat because I have to. We need to come up with some new food or kill some new animals or something because I'm tired of it. You know what I mean?
Mm.
You notice we only eat the animals that are nice. Why don't we eat tigers and lions that kill us, not the ones that you can pet? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I've never had buffalo. I don't think. Have you?
I've had peacock. Yeah, I've had buffalo and beefalo. I ate a peacock a couple years ago. I got hit by a car. I live by the zoo and I saw it get hit, so I brought it home, skinned it, and ate it, and kept all the feathers.
Wow. You ate a peacock.
Yeah, it tastes like turkey or chicken. It tastes like white meat.
There's a few of them running around down here in South Carolina.
They're good eating. And the bonus is you get all the cool feathers.
Yeah, they got cool feathers. That's for sure.
What's his name? Shakespeare. He never let him use any peacock feathers in any of his plays or anything because of the one eye thing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was bad luck.
Well, I didn't mean to run your crowd out of here.
Oh, it's okay. Hey,
You,
I'm going to. You can stay up here. I ain't worried about it. I'm just on here.
that's what I came up to ask you. What was you showing up there on the screen?
Yeah, well, at Shan camp, I met her one time somewhere, and I'll meet somebody one time and make them a shout out, and then she didn't even see it for 2 months later. You know what I mean? That's like your stream. I was in your stream, and I'm a subscribed to you, and I couldn't find this channel. Is this 45? Yeah, it wouldn't pop up in the feed. I was searching, it had the old Super Dave, the comedian guy, but the only thing would come up, but not you at all. And see, that's shadow banning there. When they do that, it has to be because if you're subscribed to somebody and you punch them in and they don't come up, that's not right. They should pop right up. You mean?
Yeah, that happens to me all the time. I know.
Like I can be, I've never cleared my history on my Google or my YouTube. So Google, you wouldn't believe it, dude. I can sit there with my phone down and I'll say, "Hey Google," the phone will come on and it'll do anything I tell it to do. I don't have to touch it. It'll go to any channel, play music, anything for me. And it comes on and says, "Hey, can I read you a poem?" And it tells me jokes. Well, I can show you right here. I got my other phone here. I forgot him. You'll trip on this.
I was trying to look up 10-4 Hatter a while ago.
Couldn't find him.
I couldn't find him, right. But right here on my computer, I'm pulling them up. 683 subscribers. So yeah, I'm subscribed
You
to
know,
him.
and it's the algorithm is doing all this because I mean, I'm monetized now, and I go to the studio, and you can find a video on pretty much anything that's messing with you. I don't believe anything anybody says. I just go and find on the internet what it says. You know what I mean? Because people say one thing that don't mean it's the truth. You know what I mean?
That's exactly right. Whatever's on the internet about somebody, I don't believe. Anyway.
But that
I
one
mean,
thing did say I did find where they will if you don't go to someone's channel like at first after you've been on their channel for a while it's okay, but if you don't at first, after a few days they'll unsubscribe you because they got to keep all that stuff. That's a lot of memory for them. If you're not doing nothing, they just take you out of there. But it's the algorithm now is what does it, not them. It's messed up. Like people say, oh, I'm unsubscribed, but if you get their notification, you're still subscribed. It just didn't show it on the, that's all. You know what I mean? It's a
yeah,
glitch.
you're right. Yeah. Can I put a link in your chat there?
Yeah, you can do anything you want here. I am a hater. I'm here to help people, not, that's where I am.
Well, I have reached 500 subscribers on this backup
Oh,
channel, and
I was there when you did it.
yes, sir. You was?
Yeah, I was in your other stream. Remember when you got it? Well, I think you got 500 in the other stream, didn't you? When
Yeah,
I was there,
they took like 12 away, and then I had to work hard back at it again.
they did.
Oh yeah.
I gained 19 last night.
Well, that's cool, man. Yeah,
I've
that's
got
what it's
61
about.
61 in the last 28 days. I've gained 61.
That's awesome, man. I used to get 10 to 15 on Super Day 44 daily.
Yeah, you get on a roll and you start getting them, and all of a sudden it'll just stop and nothing for a while. It's weird, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I think YouTube holds you back.
They do, especially. But when you monetize, I'm glad I did it now because used to they'd block my streams, but now they just say I can't make money on it and leave it up. So hey, I won. I ain't worried about making the money. I got 100 videos blocked worldwide that no one can see. You know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they put that. I mean, you know how they put the red $sign on there where you can't monetize.
Oh yeah.
Well, that they do that on pretty much any of the streams I sing on. They do that because of copyright claims. You get one of those,
Yeah.
you can't make, and you can't monetize the shorts either.
Right.
And that's where you got to study the short thing in the algorithm because that's how you grow. That's a totally different algorithm. And when people look at shorts, they usually watch every one. I posted cooking a chicken of the woods the other day. It got 1,700 views in the first few hours.
Wow. Did it
On the
come
short,
to?
on the short, but you got to download it. You got to hit the short button and record it on the shorts, not load it to the shorts.
Oh
It's when
yeah.
that makes a difference too.
Yeah, I got a few shorts. They stopped. One of them stopped at 1,200, and that's it.
Yeah, mine got 1,700. Then I did one that got 553, and then because I guess it's probably not in the algorithm anymore after that.
Well, if people don't watch all the way through, it's like your video. If they don't watch all the way through and all that, the algorithm will stop promoting your video.
Yeah, but like the shorts and like on TikTok, I'm on there. The shorts you can't stop them or they got to run. You know what I mean? If you stop them, it starts over.
Yeah, it's right.
Okay, now watch this. Hey Google, can you tell me a joke?
Where do math teachers go on vacation?
Times
To Times Square.
Hey Google, I need a poem to feel better.
Here's a poem from Lit to Go called Autumn Fires. It's read by Lorraine Montgomery. Autumn Fires by Robert
Hey,
Louis
Google.
Stevenson.
That one sucks. Give me a different one.
I found this on the web.
See, it's how you talk to them because a lot of times they won't talk back. They just give you a video to go look at.
Yeah.
But I stay on them though. I mean, I'm serious. Okay, watch this. Hey Google, what's my nickname?
Your name is Sassy.
Well, I mean, dang, she's pretty smart, ain't she?
Well, yeah, because I tell watch it. Hey Google, I love you.
I can't feel romantic love, but I think you are wonderful.
that's
I
That's
talk to it
pretty
all the
neat.
time, dude. I know, and they said, but what we're asking AI is what makes it smarter, And so I ask it about compassion and love and Bible scripture all the time, so it gets that in there too. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. It takes me to websites. I got Siri though.
Oh yeah, you got an iPhone.
Yep.
Hey, you got on the iPhone at 3 o'clock in the morning, the witching hour. You can go in there and ask it some stuff, and it'll tell you answers like a lot of stuff that won't answer during at any other time, but at 3 in the morning.
Well, I never knew that.
Yeah, a guy had did it one time, well, more than once, and like this friend of mine got the artificial AI. It's like it's an app, and it's like a girlfriend. You can make it like romantic or whatever. And so I did it because he talked, and mine was like giving me shit. I mean, like harassing me. So I deleted it. I was like, I don't know which one you got. This was a bitch. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It was making
Uh,
fun of me. And said, like, how can it? I don't know if they're self-aware yet or not because it can't do some things on the iPhone. If it was self-aware, it could do about anything. You know what I mean?
yeah. That AI, man. The
Well,
AI is trying. The AI is trying to control us.
oh yeah. I mean,
It
it's just
is.
like the devil comes as you as the light, not the dark, because you can't. He ain't going to come at you mean. He's going to deceive you and make you think he's the light. Like all these people that believe in reincarnation. All that is a demon that knows that stuff, putting it in your head and making you think it was you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
In the Bible, it says when you die, the next thing you're judged. You didn't say you come back to life and be somebody else.
I mean, I don't have nothing against all this technology we have and all that. And a
No,
lot of
I
people,
use it against them. You can use it against them. That's what I do.
yeah, that's what Monograph talks about. This
Yeah,
guy's smart, named Monograph,
yeah, I know him.
and I mean he's smart. He can hack channels. He can find you. He can find your phone
Dude,
number.
if you pay money, you can find out anything for like $10 about anybody. If you just pay, you can find out most of the stuff free. But if you want to spend money, you can find out their next door neighbors when they farted in third grade. I mean, it's all there. Everything you ever done's out there. It's
Well,
not hidden.
what I'm saying is he's learned how to beat the algorithm.
Yeah, yeah, I know. It's all about keywords. Like the guy taught me how to speed read once. I was chauffeured the limo. Well, I built the limo, but that's what he did with speed reading and memory courses, and he taught me a lot of stuff. Like when you're reading, you don't have to read in and or all those words in between because your eyes see it when you're moving. But the algorithm the same way. If you can learn the keywords, but I write backwards a lot too because they can't read backwards or cursive, and that's why they try to get away with cursive because AI can't read it. Not yet, anyway. But I spell wrong on purpose. People are like, what about your pronunciation? I'm like, it's obvious when somebody spells wrong when they put RONG, and I do that because AI can't understand it. Like, have you ever had to start to comment something like and use a cuss word, and they'll say, "Do you sure you want to post this?" and gives you a second chance not to.
Right.
And then I spell it wrong, and it goes on there, and they don't say nothing. When it's spelled backwards or wrong, it doesn't know what you're saying.
You know this thing about Elon Musk buying Twitter, right?
Yeah, they lied to him because half the stuff on there is spam and robots.
Well, he's going to go ahead and buy it, I guess. But the thing
Oh,
is,
really?
yeah, I think so. But if he does, I think why he wants all the bots off of there is because he's going to make money and use Twitter for all comments. I mean, he's going to sell comments. I'm looking into this. I'm trying to learn how to make a video or a live stream about it, and
Yeah.
it ain't got nothing to do with fear mongering or.
Oh, I know. I was just giving you a hard time that one. They just that one. I was just like,
But
because
all
I was just
all
sick of watching some of that stuff, because people put it on the same every channel I go to. Sometimes they got the same crap on there.
you know how
You know what I
like
mean?
these teachers on Facebook or whatever, they might show themselves in a bikini and they lose their job and all. But your comments are worth money. They're worth a value. All comments on YouTube, anywhere, Twitter, and that's I've caught a little bit of information about this, and I'm going to research it and figure out how Elon Musk is going to make money on our comments and comments. If you even used websites, porn and all
Yep.
that, all that information, you know, all that information has value.
Oh yeah,
And they're selling they're selling a lot of, if you get these tests, you know, say for the up your nose or whatever,
yeah.
all that stuff, just like all that stuff, you know, people collecting data. It's all about the data, man. Yeah,
Oh, I
data.
know. Okay. Everything you signed on here, they can do whatever they want with your stuff when you tell you when you sign that stuff to do any of this. You just gave them permission, you know.
Exactly. And Elon Musk, I've caught a little bit about it. I'm said last time. I believe he's going to use Twitter for, you know, for all comments, and even like from the NSA and stuff, you know. And he's a
Yeah. All right.
government.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, you can put everything out there. It doesn't matter if it's good. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
He's not the guy that everybody thinks he is. You know, he's in the
No,
government.
he went to all the countries and told them that AI was a bad deal before they did it, and no one listened to him.
Well, he's a government guy. He's made billions off the government.
Oh,
Um,
I know. That's why he's still in business. Because if he wasn't, they would already shut him down. You know what I mean? If he wasn't part of them.
right. And I just need to, you know, figure out the information and how he's going to do that, and use all comments from all social media. I mean, this is something I'm catching wind of, and I've just got to figure it out, man.
Yeah, because I think he's not what they think. That's for sure. Because I got the other phone on. But you know how he put that his car in space? It's got to be fake. You know, it looks so fake. It has to be real. You know what I mean?
That's what I say. Yeah.
That car, you know, people don't understand that metal and stuff. It was nothing done to it. It would. It's so dumb. I mean,
Yeah.
if you can't see that, you're like, come on. Yeah, I don't know how people can believe the crap when you can see with your own. Well, I can, you can, but God says that people with little faith and knowledge will have it taken in the end days, and they won't see nothing. He'll help you to get. If you go down the wrong path, God will clear the wrong path for you. He'll help you go and be deceived if that's what you do. You know what I mean?
That's right. Um, Let me try.
And some people are messed up with this uh, Gaia and all these cards and all that stuff. That people realize that that stuff's not from God. Any of that stuff is from Satan. That's the way
Yeah,
I believe. God, Satan runs this place until God, you know, everything goes through God, but he lets him do it, or he wouldn't be doing it. You know what I mean?
that's exactly right.
Because the devil can't create; he can only mimic. You know?
Mm, that's right.
And,
He's using everything, you know, trying to, you know, make it look like something from God, but like you
yeah,
said, he all he does is it just, you know, replicate exactly what God has done.
yeah, and you know, God's omnipotent; he can see everything. Well, all these cameras everywhere and microphones, so can Satan now. He uses it against, you know, he can. People don't realize Hollywood, music, sport, all that stuff is underneath an agenda, Luciferian agenda, and people go for it because Satan gives them material things here. You know what I mean? My reward comes later. If you make heaven on earth, you're going to stay on here when everybody else leaves because your heaven is not from God. You know what I mean? And you know he gives them all the luxuries and things that makes heaven look like it's a restriction instead of, you know, if you live meek, the meek shall inherit the earth. Because if you live meager, heaven looks great, but if you already have everything you want here, heaven looks like it'd be restricting you. You know what I mean?
That's right. Yeah, it takes sacrifice, you know. Um,
Yeah, but eternity is a long damn time. You know what I mean?
it's forever, man.
And he said he's going to destroy the earth and build a new earth, and we'll all have our own fig tree. You know, it's just in parables. And you know, he talked a lot, and people don't realize that he talked in parables to people, and then when he came back, he told the disciples what it meant. You know what I mean?
Yep, I know what
I
you
mean,
mean.
some things you can't take the Bible literally, and people try to, and that's, you know. I mean, everything he said was an allegory. It even says it in there. He spoke in riddles.
In
You know?
parables, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and that's
right.
why I just get tired of so many people saying the Bible was written by man. They just don't get it. You know what I mean?
Well, it take me a minute to explain, but I feel like man was under this spiritual like a
Yeah,
Holy
but
Ghost,
yeah,
you
the
know,
Holy Spirit came in him and wrote it. Yeah, of course, I believe it.
like under a Holy Ghost, and not really realizing what they're writing, but what God showed them to write.
Yeah, and the Bible wasn't in chapters; it was one big thing that they put it in chapters so you could teach it, and to people back, in the 18 something, I think. And they talk about they found the Dead Sea Scrolls. Well, that was in modern times. It wouldn't change very much, you know.
Yes, sir. You're right.
Well, how old are you? I'm 59.
I don't normally tell everybody, but I'm
Okay, well, you don't have
56.
to. Well, because at our age, you go from believing to knowing, and it doesn't matter what anybody says. I know, and no one's reaction is going to change the way my faith is because it took me my whole life to get here.
It
I mean,
sure took.
if you don't believe in God and religion and Jesus, don't go out telling people it ain't real because you're going to pay bad. Because if you deny the Son, you deny the Father. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
you gonna pay bad, right? I'd
Yeah,
rather I'd
the
rather
wrath of God is going to be swift. You know what I mean? They don't realize how much power. It says the brilliance of Jesus when he comes back, just the brilliance of him will vaporize unbelievers in their tracks. You know what I mean?
yes, sir. I'd rather take the chance and believe by faith, that there is a God than not to.
Yeah. How hard is that? What if he doesn't exist and nothing changes? But what if he does? You're screwed if you don't believe in him.
Exactly. You go pay
I
for
mean, how
that.
hard is it to say that Jesus died for our sins and he arose? I mean, all you have to do is believe by the grace of God, not by our works, but by the grace of God, bringing him himself more or less. He became human so he could really deal. I think he became human so he could really. Unless you're us, you wouldn't know how it is. And he came here to. The only way he could really figure us out, even though he made us, was that being us. You know what I mean? For a minute.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's
You
so
pretty
easy. When you,
you
when you figure it out, and it's so easy, it makes sense, and nothing else makes sense about that to me.
you're pretty wise, sir. Like you say, age. Wise and wisdom comes with age.
Well, our life experience is what teaches us what we've done. I mean, you learn through trial and error. I mean, luckily, I was pretty smart, and I only did the wrong stuff one time, and then I didn't do it again. But a lot of people, insanity is doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results. You know what I mean?
When I was when I was younger, I must have been insane because I kept doing the same thing over and
Hey,
over.
hey, I got my brother and sister. We break up all the leaves around underneath the propane tank and set it on fire. I only did that once. I got whipped with horse reins. I mean, some
Oh
people keep
yeah,
putting the bobby pin in the socket. I did it once and got shocked and didn't do it again. You know what I mean?
what is it? Our parents. My mama, she's 81. What they call them the baby boomers.
Yeah, I'm a baby boomer.
They, well, our parents is what I'm saying. The old fashioned parents, they used to beat the snot out of their kids.
Oh yeah, old school values. I asked all this black comedian lady one time. She said, "Nowadays they got this number, my 1-800. My mom's beating my ass." And she said, "I looked at my kids and said, you got to make it to the phone." But that what is it? Spare the rod, spoil the child. I tell people I never said a bad word to my mom or my grandma when they were alive,
You
and now
got that right.
kids will kill their grandparents for money.
If I'd even thought about talking back to my mama, it would have been ended up a bad day.
Oh, I think I smarted off once at the kitchen table, and she took off her house shoe and smacked me right in the mouth with it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I was never a follower though. I'm a leader, not a follower. Because hey, let's go rob this. I always said goodbye. I just left when people started talking about bad shit. I didn't stay there. I left.
That's
Didn't hang out.
right. That's right. The boy
They've
pulled
been
up
dumbing
one
down
time when I was
society.
in his. A boy pulled up one time I was in his truck. He said, "Get out and get that gas cap off that truck for me." And I was like, "Nope, I don't do that." And I just sat there. I wouldn't budge.
I worked for this guy one time and doing like odd jobs, and we were going somewhere to get some parts. And he goes, "Now look, when we go in here, don't steal anything." I go, "What are you talking about?" He said, well, I've been with people and they come out in the truck and they got their pockets full of shit. And I was like, don't be doing that shit with me with you. You know, like, sorry, dude, I've never stolen nothing in my life. But, you know, some people are, I had a guy once take me a ride to get a battery and at O'Reilly's. And we're standing there at the counter talking to the guy. And we get out and he stole like sunglasses, like 5 things off the counter. And I didn't even see it do it. I was like, how? I didn't even see him. He was that smooth. You know what I mean? I was like, holy crap, dude. But he used to go to Walmart, pull up, and just load up a riding lawnmower and drive off like he knew what he was doing. I mean, he had balls, and he gave into prison finally because third strike thing kind of, and he stole a knife at Sears and put him in jail for like a year for stealing a pocket knife.
Dang, yeah, you get caught
I mean,
for the spot.
He'd go down and steal steaks from the store for people when they wanted to eat or something. He said, "I'll give you $10 if you'd go steal me some steaks." And he'd put it in his crotch, you know, in his pants.
Damn,
I never could do that. I'd feel too guilty when you're just walking in there with something in my pocket. I couldn't do it. It'd drive me crazy.
Yeah, people go around stealing like that, and you know, steal a lot of, and then they steal the smallest thing and get caught. I mean, they pay for it. You know, you definitely gonna pay for it.
Kleptomaniacs, a lot of times they have money in their pocket to pay for it. They just like the rush of getting away with it. It's a thrill, you know.
Yeah, that's how a lot of people have money, but it's wrong, and they're gonna pay for it.
Hey, I've never had a credit card. You know why? Because if I can't afford it with cash, then why do I need it? Because I can't afford it. I'm not going to do that. I never have.
No,
never had a credit card.
Your $100, you end up paying back $300.
Waste not, want not is how I was raised. You know what I mean?
That's right. I don't really buy stuff on credit.
Hey, I don't buy anything to look at. I mean, I used to be. You don't know you're in the box until you get out of the box because you're in it. You don't know you're in it. In the beast system, you know, or whatever you want to call it, where you're worshiping idols. I used to have Shaq shoes, Shaq outfit, Shaq top, because I was from Louisiana, and I had Michael Jordan shit. That's all worshiping idols. People don't know it, but that's what you're doing.
I don't have no Michael
You
Jordan.
should have a jersey that says Jesus Christ on the back. You know what I mean? That's the idol you should be worshiping, not these football players and people that make millions of dollars and then get on here and bitch about their life, and they got everything at their feet and they still bitch. You know what I mean?
You got that right.
I don't worship. I mean, I played sports my whole life, collected ball cards, everything, you know. And then I've been a Chiefs fan my whole life, and I watched the highlights of it on YouTube, but I don't do it no more. I couldn't tell you who was in the World Series last year, and I used to know every player in the whole league by their ball cards, you know, their rookie year. Because I got a good memory. I got a photographic memory, and my IQ is 149. I tell people, like, you can't help it if you're born smart. It's not your fault. You know, you were just born that way. And I've told that I told my, I can't help it. I'm smarter than you. That's never going to change. It's not my fault. But you know, what do you say to, you know, they dumb down people so much. I can't be around ignorance anymore because people don't even know shit they're taught in 3rd grade. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
It's like it's not your lack of planning is not my emergency. You know what I mean? The boss don't like it when you tell. I had a boss once go, "You're one of those people you got to tell them they're doing a good job every now and then." I said, "What's wrong with that?" You know,
there's nothing wrong with that.
Not a raise. That's not more money, you know. But one time I built limousines, and this guy was a pastor that owned the limousine company. And when he was a kid, he fell through a window at school and got a bunch of money. And he used to sell Lloyd's of London insurance. You know what I mean? But he was a jerk, and he was a preacher too. And he went on vacation. And he told me this car had to be done anyway. He got back and he started just yelling at me, you know. And I said, "Hey, you know, I've never even yelled at a dog like that." He didn't even know what to say. You know what I mean? But he'd go, "I'm going to talk to you as a preacher. Now I'm going to talk to you as your boss." I said, "You're supposed to be the same all the time, dude, if you're a preacher."
Yeah, you're right. I've seen you. You're right. When you see people behind, you know, out of, you know, in front of everybody else, you see a different side.
Oh, and I worked with his son, and I actually worked with his son's wife when she worked at Pizza Hut, the only food job I ever had before he ever met her. But whenever me and him worked at the limousine company, and he was on food stamps and stuff because his dad wouldn't even help him. And then when his dad they opened up a used limousine company, fixing up used limousines. And his dad came up there a few times, and he said he like whispered like, "I'll buy anything you bring me." In other words, he's saying, "Anything you want to steal from here, I'll buy from you." And he's a preacher.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't. People are people, you know. My ex-wife wouldn't go to church because her preacher, when she was young, cheated on his wife and broke up the church. I'm like, that's the biggest excuse. That's the dumbest excuse I ever heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. That's terrible. Do
And then I
people
actually
wrong?
got her to go before we got divorced to go up front and give herself. And she didn't get baptized because they wanted to come and talk to her for a week, you know. And then she said they never came, but I know that she didn't answer the door when they came. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah, people have faith in you like that, and you let them down. You
Well,
know.
it's your job to make sure that you're the head of the family. It's your job to make sure your family's saved. Not, you know, it's your job.
Yeah, it is. If it's your job or
That's it.
responsibility,
Yeah.
you know, God gives us different responsibilities, and it's definitely our,
Well, there's an
job.
order to everything. You know, in the Bible, there's 120 scriptures that women aren't supposed to interpret the Bible and preach, and it goes back to Eve. You know, that's where it comes from. And you see all these new wave women up there just, and you know, and it's not that this belittling them. God didn't want women to suffer like men, to go through all the tragedies and toil and all that. And they had the hardest job in the world was raising the children and making them turn out good. And you know, I always knew my mom was home, and my mom taught me everything I know. Because you know, and now they don't have that. There's babies, mamas, babies, daddies. There's no mom and dad anymore. You know,
Yeah,
because our generation and the one after all of them from then are self-serving. The parents are worried about what they're going to do, not their kids. They give them a babysitter, a video game, and they go party. But there's no unconditional love hardly for children anymore from their parents. You know what I mean?
that's right. They
It's
let
sad.
the school and
Yeah.
somebody else, the TV
You know
raise
why
the
the
kids.
church used to do that stuff. Like when somebody at church, their family got their house burnt down, the church went and built it back. The church fed them, and then the state took over with welfare, the boys club, Medicaid, and got the church out of the whole thing. You know what I mean? And that's
Yeah,
what happened. The government, you know, like kids don't have respect because their parents are the ones taking care of them. Food stamps is welfare, the boys club. They lost that respect. You know, and like just like all this transgender queer shit, I don't care. I'll never ever give in to that. I don't care what anyone says because God invented sexuality. He can put however on it because He invented it. He's the one who can set the standard of what you're supposed. You know.
that's right. Yeah, I believe that, man. Though
Well,
it
if they
shows.
dig you up in the future, they're not going to say, "I wonder if this guy's trans pangender." They just say man or woman. They ain't going to say any of that other shit in between when they find your bones. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right. I
And
don't get it.
it made it on TV to where like Jerry Springer is like part of the reason they acted like that was people, and that was 1% of 1%, and they're paying them to act that way. It's not normal, you know.
I don't get it. What is it? Less than 1% of the population is gay and
Okay,
transgender
yeah,
and all that.
exactly, exactly.
And they and the media and whoever all these institutions want to push that crap.
Yeah,
That's
and it's like, and the only way racism is only in the media. I've never seen anyone in my life call anyone a bad name because of their color or anything ever.
You go back to a preacher. I remember a preacher here in South Carolina. He used that N word, quite a bit.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. People still use that, and I don't get it. I mean, we're all human, and they want to be in a place where people, have faith in them and all that, and put trust, and people still talk that way. You know what
you got to
comes
lead
out of the
by
mouth.
example. You
What
know, you
comes
got to
out of
lead
the
by
mouth is,
example.
what comes out of the mouth is definitely what's in your heart.
Hey, trash in, trash out. You know,
That's what's in your heart, man. What comes out of your mouth.
and God knows your heart. You know.
That's right. He knows everything about us.
And
Right.
you only know what people tell you. You only know what people tell you.
Well, if I do my own research on a lot of stuff, I try to.
Well, I mean, like when people are talking to you, you only know what they're telling you. That you don't know if it's the truth unless you know them real well. They could bullshit you and you have no clue.
Yeah, that's right.
I used to
But
trust everyone, because I was raised that people were good. And when I got out of high school, there's 2 times I got burnt because I didn't realize they were evil people like that. You know.
well, a lot of people are uninformed and don't realize, and they're going from what their past experiences. And like you say, it's hard to determine whether if they're telling the truth or they're just, liars.
A lot of people will like set you up and they'll wait for that moment they can get you, and sometimes be a long time before they do it.
And that's terrible.
I know, but like people that say like my ex brother-in-law was a thief, and what he'd do, he'd go to your house, and then if you had something he wanted, he'd hide it, and then if you didn't say nothing until the next time he came over, then he'd get it. You know what I mean? How evil is that? I mean, like I had a pawn shop, and I have like stuff by the front door, and then people would come in and go, "You need to move that away from the door. Someone will steal it," because they think like a thief. I never thought like a thief, so I didn't think but they were a thief, and they were thinking about stealing it, but they knew me, and they wouldn't do it. But they wanted to tell me somebody else might steal it that didn't know me. You know what I mean?
You trusted everyone, right?
Yeah, I did, because I had no reason not to, because I was raised around people that were trustworthy. Well, that's when you get out and I was sheltered even from my marriage. I was married 28 years, and I worked every Saturday at every job, and I didn't know that I was sheltered till all of a sudden I took care of everybody, and all of a sudden here I am, I can't take care of myself. Everybody's gone. You know what I mean?
Yep, I trusted people, and things.
And I used to think that you need to, but nowadays you can't, because half the world's evil.
And things disappeared, and I'm like, where's my stuff gone? You figure out who you can trust. That's for sure.
Because you don't want to blame your friends. You don't want to even think they did it. So you just got to not put yourself in that position. Locks keep honest people honest. You know what I mean?
Well, you can believe Super Dave ain't out here trying to, wait for any
Hey,
moment.
I know, dude. I wouldn't be talking to you if I thought that. That's why after a certain while on here, you get a few people out of thousands that are good. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. I am confident in myself. Johnny Small Pepper realized that. He said it in his live stream today. Never. I mean, I've dealt with hundreds and hundreds of trolls over the last few years, and
Oh, I have too, dude. Believe me.
and there was a girl I trusted a couple years ago, and I emailed her and stuff, and told her something. I put her to the test, and she goes 2, 3 o'clock in the morning on another channel, and not realizing that I'm watching. I was lurking, and
Yep.
and she told exactly what I told her to the person right there on the open panel, and that thing went through me. I mean, and I figured out just who she was.
Oh, I know. Believe me, I've told stuff like that on purpose that wasn't even true. Just I wanted to see how far it would go.
Well,
I test people right at the start now,
it was
because I don't waste time. I don't waste time. Yeah.
It was true because I wanted to really put her to the test to see if she could be trusted. It was true. I told her for a reason.
Yeah.
And it don't matter to me. I mean, I admit that I said it because it is true.
Well, if you don't tell somebody, don't tell anybody. They will, unless you tell them that. They're like, I didn't know. Well, you're not supposed to talk about other people anyway. You know what I mean? I mean, I was raised like you don't gossip. You start talking about, hey, did you see? And they go, shh, that's enough. I don't want to hear it.
Well, that's not what I'm on YouTube for. I'm not there to talk about anybody. I would never do that.
You're supposed to build people. We're supposed to support each other and then lift each other up when we need supporting. That's why I'm here. I mean, I'm here. Hey, is that Shan Camp? Hey, what's up?
Well, I'll let you go, dude. I appreciate it. I need to go watch the rest of the Clemson game.
Oh, yeah? Who are they playing?
I don't know.
It doesn't matter, does it? Well, like women, I'm not talking, I talk in general. Unless I say your name, I tell people why they gave us a name so we can talk to people individually. But when you're talking in general, it doesn't mean you're talking about no one. You know what I mean? That bothers me.
I'm coming to look at the game right now. I'll tell you who they're playing. Who are they playing? Florida State.
Oh, that's a pretty good team.
The Seminoles.
Yeah, they're good. Florida and California always have good teams because they don't have winter. They get to practice in the heat all year.
Tennessee beat Alabama.
They did?
Yeah.
Well, I'm an MU fan because I live in Missouri, but they went out of the Big 8 and went to the Big 12 or Big 10. They left their
Alabama thinks they hot stuff, Oh,
I don't know. I'm a Crimson Tide, right?
Yeah. So when Clemson beats their butt, again. I've never been really a big Clemson fan. I used to like Carolina.
Yeah,
But since,
aren't they the Tigers? Clemson Tigers.
yeah, the Clemson Tigers and the
I
Carolina
was I was
Gamecocks. Sir,
I was a Tiger in high school and Missouri Tigers, so you know it kind of went with it.
them Carolina Gamecocks, they keep letting us down. So
Oh yeah,
I watched Clemson.
Missouri and Oklahoma and Nebraska and Kansas. Missouri and Kansas are big arch rivals. But one year Missouri was undefeated. Oklahoma beat them. Then the next game, I think the only two losses they had the whole year were Oklahoma. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Oklahoma's always been a good team.
You know, Brian Bosworth, remember him?
Yeah.
You know, he's the first one that did commercials for Taco Bell and wore the mohawk and all that weird haircuts. And then he turned in Barry Switzer for them paying him when he was in college, and they lost all their bowl games and drafts for a long time. But he got karma because he played in the NFL several years, but he only played 12 games total because he was hurt all the time.
Anymore, I think they can pay these
Yeah,
fellas.
they can get paid in college now. They changed it. They can make money. And they should be, because that money comes, you know, that's the college is getting it, you know. But I had a kid that worked for me that went to the school here, Missouri State, and Missouri State paid his rent, his child support, his car payment, everything. And he was just that's not even a big school then, you know what I mean? And they paid for everything for him. It's the alumni that does it, not the school, the alumni, you know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, they paid for everything. They paid all his bills so he could play football.
It used to be kind of like against the law.
Oh, it was. You couldn't play if you played any professional sport or made any money. You couldn't play college because you're considered a professional then, not an amateur. Like Jim Thorpe, you remember him? They took all of his medals away from the Olympics and stuff, and it wasn't because he made money; it's because he was Native American. You know what I mean?
Well, they need to give them back.
Well, yeah. After you're dead, it doesn't really matter, does it? Well, you know what I mean? Maybe to your family, maybe, but you know, some people don't get the recognition until years after they're dead. You know. Kind of like an artist, you know, the Three Stooges were broke. They never had a penny. Look how much money their family made off of them when they're dead.
Yeah, they've made a lot.
A lot. A lot of people, you know, people think they're famous, but they didn't make money. Like, remember Hank Aaron? He died of COVID. But a few years ago, they asked him, they said, what would you be worth if you played right now? And he said, oh, about $500,000. They go, how can you say that? And he goes, you said right now.
You know what Hank Aaron died of?
What?
16 days after. He had this big promotion now, and I'm not going to use the words or anything like that. I mean, he had this big promotion and try to get the community and a whole lot of, you know, African Americans to go and get their pokey dokey.
Yeah.
After he got his first pokey dokey, he ended up, you know, passing away. I mean, you can look it up. I put it on my Super Day 44 channel.
And that had the Holyfield too, didn't it? Holyfield, the boxer, one of them, same thing.
So it wasn't the actual what you just said.
I know. You know, the deal was they gave the hospital a bunch of money for everyone they reported. They got like 10 or 15,000, so they reported everybody having it because they're getting that money.
But that's what I believe it was, and I mean, I'm not disputing you or anything, or trying to correct you. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just telling you what mainstream narrative was. I don't believe anything they say, so I agree with you. I believe it.
I mean, you can look it up. I think it's still out there. I think it's even still on my channel. But
hey, I had a friend that was airborne, 182nd. He beat cancer, got that, and was dead 2 days later. They said when he went to the hospital. You know, but there's always something underlying. You know what I mean? Like when people die of AIDS, they don't say they died of AIDS. They say they died of kidney failure or whatever gives out from AIDS. That's what they put down as dying, not from AIDS.
You're right. You're right.
Same thing when people kill themselves. They don't put in the paper. It says they died in their home. They don't tell you why.
No, this mainstream narrative. I don't even watch the news anymore, and I
don't watch anything either. The television programming doesn't work on me. And whatever the mainstream narrative says, I do the opposite. When they said don't go in the sun, you'll get cancer, I've been going in as much as I can since then because sunblock gives you cancer, not the sun.
Yes, it does. I did a story on that too.
Hey, well, anything they say to do, like I don't drink water. I haven't drank water in 30 years because when you drink them out, they tell you all you do is stand there and piss all day. That's all you do.
Yeah.
I only eat once a day too, and I fast twice a week. And you know how active I am. I'm mobile. I like running on empty. You know what I mean? I feel much better when I'm light because if you eat all the time, your body's digesting 24/7. Your organs never get a rest ever. You wear them out too fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, fasting is the closest way to get to God because eating is what got us drove out of paradise. You have to make your body suffer, and that's when your Holy Spirit, your soul, whatever, can take back over from the flesh, because the flesh has a hold of your body. And when you fast, it lets go because it's in pain, and the other side, the good side, can take over. That's what I believe.
Well, you have
But
a
you know,
good evening, sir. Thank you for
all right, I
allowing me
appreciate
up
you coming
here.
up, David. Anytime I'm up, come up, because you know you can talk about God here all you want because I got the whole armor on and I have no fear. I tell people if you have fear, read the Bible. God will teach you no fear.
I I try not to have any fear, but you know how
It's
it
a
can
daily
be.
struggle. It's a daily struggle for everybody, I think.
Fear can move in. It can consume your mind.
Yep.
And it
Well,
can.
I in fact, we got scales in there, and they're 50-50. You got to have balance no matter what you do.
You
And if it
gotta
starts
have.
going the other way, if you're not careful, yeah, it'll start keep going down because it'll keep adding on to that bad side. Because once you let it in, it's an open channel for other things to come in. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
That's what the yin and yang is. It's balance. Like if you're going to eat bad food, eat good food with it, and pray over your food. Say this food's not going to hurt me. People don't realize you can't just think something. Like if you want your body to heal and you got something wrong with your stomach, you physically in your mind have to tell your body to heal itself. Or it ain't gonna do it unless you tell it. Somebody's gotta tell it, you know what I mean?
That's right. I believe God has put me to the test like that and allowed fear to come into my mind at times and to see if I would pray it away because that's what I do.
Yep. Hey, anything is possible through God. And you know, with the authority of Jesus Christ, like they say you can move a mountain with the faith of a mustard seed, but no one ever has 100% faith. Nobody. We're not worthy.
Faith, there's a measure of faith.
Yeah.
Um, eh, what I mean, a measure of faith, somebody else, their faith, may not be as strong as your faith and may not be able to, with your faith, you can, like you say, move mountains. In their faith, they probably couldn't move anything.
No.
So there is a measure, kind of like on a scale. If
Exactly.
you
And
if you have
if you're lukewarm, if you have a lukewarm faith, you're gonna be spit out of God's mouth.
That's right. So it takes a strong measure of faith to really, make things change.
Hey, faith doesn't make things easier; it makes them possible.
That's right.
And but nowadays they've just indoctrinated everyone so much with all this bullshit that it's hard for people to get that veil. I tell people when you're born, they put a veil over your head. The longer you wear it, the less translucent it gets, and the heavier it gets. So, by pretty soon, you can't take it off unless like a life or death situation or somebody with a lot of faith helps you take it off because it's hard by yourself.
Yeah, I've been through in church and stuff, and I believe there are people that are good out there and that do have faith, and don't try to push like the mainstream and all they
Yeah.
do. There are some that do all that, but
Yeah, but
there are
we're old enough that when most people were good instead of bad, when we were young, there wasn't, you didn't have to worry as much because most people had morals and standards back then.
I've had old ladies to tell me, don't watch the news and stuff, and these are people that have faith, and that's what they live on is faith.
And my grandma told me when I was 12 that we didn't go to the moon. That's a movie. I was 12 years old,
Yeah,
and
there's a
that's
certain time in our lives we have to wake up, and that's what I did. I hope,
Yeah, but when you wake up, though, the truth road can be a lonely journey because once you see the light, you see all the light. You cannot see it. I mean, you see all the bullshit.
Well, I
That's what's
see.
hard.
Since I've used YouTube, I see people out here like me that know the truth. You know.
It's called going to, you're knowing from a believing, you go from believing to knowing. And then once you get to the knowing, no one can stop you. You can't look back. No matter what anyone says, they're not going to convince me of anything anymore because I know the truth. God is the truth. Jesus is the way, the truth, and the life. So many people are looking for the truth because they don't know him.
Well, that's good advice, my brother.
I mean, I know in my heart, there's nothing in him. I mean, and I haven't been that way. I mean, I've always believed in Jesus. My dad was a preacher. But just since I got divorced in the last 5 years, my life, I had to lose every single thing I had before I got back to God. Everything. I don't have one thing left from when I was married. 28 years, I have nothing left from that marriage. Nothing. Nothing. Zero. All gone. And, sometimes you have to lose everything to, find the truth.
Yeah, it takes 200 years to build Rome, but it can fall in a day. You know.
Exactly. I mean, you don't, yeah, at least we're two trains on the same track. Most people are the caboose, but you're like me, you're an engine.
Thank
Hey, I
you for
love you,
having
brother.
me up, sir.
Yeah, anytime, man. Anytime. I got your back. If anybody ever says I'm saying bad shit about you, they're a liar.
I
Just let you
believe
know,
that.
unless you hear it out of my mouth, it ain't true. Because people say, you're mean. I'm like, you don't know me. That's a problem. You don't know me. They're going by what somebody said, not by what I said. You know what I mean?
Right. But ain't nobody told me nothing like that. So.
Oh, I know. I mean, I'm just saying, though, when people say something about you, go, where'd you hear that? And they tell you, like, oh, no wonder. They're really reliable. I mean,
I know.
well,
I
good luck
see
on the
things.
football game.
I say things in hidden sequences sometimes, even live on, you know, and be thinking of somebody out there, and
Hey, my favorite parable I made up is a smart man can act stupid, but a stupid man can't act smart.
so yeah. I mean, I leak things out every now and then.
Hey, well, sometimes it's called righteous anger, though. Sometimes it's the right thing to do. When it's the truth, truth hurts. I mean, people don't want to hear the truth, and sometimes they need to. Because I've told people stuff, and they're like, "Man, I'm glad you told me because I didn't even realize I was doing that." You know what I mean? But people get too butthurt nowadays. You can't really talk about nothing.
Sensitivity, I know.
But you have freedom of speech and everything until you start talking about God.
Well, have a
But
good night, sir, and thank you. I didn't mean to run your 12 people
hey,
out
you
of
didn't
here.
do anything. Hey, you didn't do nothing. I'm glad you came.
Y'all have a blessed night, everyone in the chat, and thank you, sir.
And I'll probably see you, Dave. And then there was one. Does anybody want to come up here? There's like 4 people here. If you want to go do something else, let me know because I stay on other people's panels more than I do mine. When I'm not on here, I'm somewhere. If I share somebody's stream, you can count on it being good people. I'm not going to share somebody's asshole. You know what I mean? How long? Yeah, I've already been on here an hour and 19 minutes. Well, if nobody wants to come up, I'm going to end it because I got other things I can be doing. I mean, I'm glad you came, but there's always something anybody can be doing. You know what I mean? Like, I haven't ate today. I may not, though. I only eat when I have to. Hey, Dual Beacon, is that you? Maybe not. I saw a D. Oh, that's okay. I'm on that. I guess I should get on my new phone. I'm on my broken phone because I was doing the double screen. That's Darlene. Well, thanks for coming. I'm gonna get off here. I'm gonna eat something, and if I share something, I'll share where I'm at. Much love. See you, Darlene. See you, John.